most Nigerians do not like spending their Bitcoin. They like to hold it. That's another problem. We want mass adoption for Bitcoin. We want people to be able to spend and receive Bitcoin with ease.
Hello and welcome all. My name is Bitcoin by Malks and this is Genesis Block Education and this is our podcast. Well, is this a podcast? I don't really know actually. Like, do you have to, how do you qualify as a podcast? Do you need like approval from Joe Rogan or something? Anyway, let's just call it a chat for now. And today I'm speaking to my good friend Rebecca Asseh and we are discussing if Bitcoin can fix Nigeria. That's a big ask. So just a bit about me. So I've been an advocate of the Bitcoin/blockchain crypto space, call it whatever you want, for at least 5 years. And I've been sort of educating my friends, family, trying to get them up that knowledge curve. And I've sort of recently decided that, you know, I'm going to scale up what I'm doing a little bit more and see if I can educate and add value to other people that are just not my next door neighbor or whatever. So I'm a Peckham boy, born and bred, right? Say no more. But I'm also of Nigerian origin. My parents are Nigerian. I go to Nigeria every year. I've got business interests in Nigeria. So I know on paper at least, the case for Bitcoin in Nigeria is very strong. I tend to look and analyze Bitcoin consumption statistics quite a bit and analytics. And I can see a trend in Nigeria, sort of just after COVID kicked in, of a 40% increase in consumption of Bitcoin sort of wallets and a ramp up in transactions in Nigeria. And I continue to see this trend increase month on month. So I really wanted to delve deeper into this trend and just understand it a bit more. So Nigeria is now in the top 10 consuming countries of Bitcoin wallets and etc. And it's number one in Africa. I think it's just closely followed by South Africa. So I looked at my list of contacts, which I've built up over the last 5 years in the cryptocurrency space, to see who I could reach out to come and have a good conversation. And Rebecca Asseh was top of my list. Again, this is the first podcast I've ever done or attempt at a podcast. So please don't expect perfection. So I'm definitely going to do a lot of so's, filler words. I just can't help it. I'm working on it. I'm going to rehab. So yeah, hopefully that doesn't annoy you too much. And actually, my questions, I'm going to try and keep it basic for now because I don't want it to go over too many people's heads. So this show is focused on newbies. So just a little introduction of Rebecca. So Rebecca is a crypto expert. She's a journalist. She educates and she's a consultant. And she's based in Ibadan, Nigeria. The key thing to call out about Rebecca is that she educates people about Bitcoin in Pidgin. And Pidgin is broken English, which essentially the man on the street in Nigeria speaks. So on that note, let me hand over to Rebecca to introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Maxwell has already introduced me. So basically, what I do is I try to educate people about the cryptocurrency sphere in Pidgin, which is Nigerians, one of the dominant language for communication in Nigeria. It's like the unofficial language we use in communicating across the different languages that we have in the country. We have over 200 languages. So we use Pidgin English to communicate across borders. And then I am a crypto journalist. I write with Crypto Coin Society. I am also a board member of Black Women Blockchain Council, head of communications for Future Proof Intelligence. Future Proof Intelligence is a blockchain, MTech, emerging technology company. What we do is try to get people and companies who are interested in starting businesses related to blockchain technology, cybersecurity, virtual reality, everything that has to do with technologies and emerging technology. We get them to become compliant with the laws of Nigeria and Africa in particular. So what we do is try to get people to comply with the laws, make sure your company is well registered and that you are in line with the law so you don't get into trouble, especially with fintech companies that are coming up to provide financial solutions, and sometimes they tend to go the wrong way, and then the government might clamp down on your company and make you lose your license. So we try to make sure that companies are on the right with the laws, and we also try to make sure that traditional companies that are already existent, we try to make sure that they are also moving towards getting in line with what's going on and getting involved with technology. We try to make sure that companies and the government as well are not stative, that they are, are prone to change and willing to change. So we run consultancy and trainings for such, companies. So basically what I do.
Cool. Thank you, Rebecca. So I'll just say Kedu Kekime. That's my attempt of Igbo, Cockney Igbo. But anyway, as we jump in, I guess probably the best place to start is to give the listeners an overview of the current political and economic situation in Nigeria. I mean, what is it like for the man and woman in the street at the moment?
Well, when we shouted Happy New Year 2020, welcome to 2020, we felt 2020 was going to be the big year. We have been waiting for 2020.
Everybody did.
Yes. So, it was quite shocking when Vision 2020 was, becoming Nightmare 2020. So people, the coronavirus, took the world, at a storm. We weren't expecting it. And then there was the lockdown. The common man in Nigeria, let's say if we have 100% of people, about 20% will be the ones traveling by airline. Most of the travels done in Nigeria are done by road. So people didn't take the coronavirus seriously because everybody felt, we are going by roads. I don't have any contacts with the airport, so there is no need for me to be scared. But when the list of people getting the virus began to increase, fear began to creep in. And then there was economic clampdown. There was no movement. The largest city in Nigeria that has the highest grossing GDP was on lockdown. Lagos City was on lockdown. People couldn't travel to Lagos. You cannot conduct business. It became a reality that our economics are beginning to get threatened. So things went downhill from there. So during the COVID-19 period, from February down to February, March, April, May, June, a lot of Ponzi schemes began to come in. People wanted to make money because they weren't going to work. Everybody was at home, and then you needed to eat. And because of the way the society is structured, most people eat day to day. They get their funds day to day. So it was just terrible. So basically, and then Naira collapsed because the price of oil went down. Everything was just a mess. Right. So what happened was that people began to realize that the banks were not their friends. Right. The government is also not their friend. So people realized that they had to for themselves. So it was a terrible situation. And unfortunately, like when there is a good thing, there's also a bad thing lurking in the dark. So as cryptocurrency began to gain, awareness, people began to realize that it's better I put my money in cryptocurrency. Imagine if I had bought cryptocurrency in 2011, 2020, I would be in profit and I wouldn't be worried about whatever financial reality is ongoing currently. So a lot of people began to come to that awareness. As people were coming to that awareness, a lot of people were also coming up with Ponzi schemes. Now, the problem with situations like, the pandemic is the fact that when people get scared, people fall into trouble. People were getting scared, some people were getting greedy. So things were just terrible. Currently, the price of Naira, as at December last year, Naira was about 350, 340 Naira per dollar.
Yeah.
But currently, in the black markets, you are going to get Naira for 477 Naira to 485 Naira. That is, depending on who you are buying from. Sometimes you get Naira as high as 500 Naira per dollar. Wow. So it's incredibly high. Prices of things have skyrocketed. Things are just a mess. Now, things that you buy, things are just 100x. So things are 10 times the price that they used to be.
Up to 10.
So, yeah, everything is so expensive. And then some things are out of order because, you can't order from, we import a lot in Nigeria. So we rely heavily on imports. We can't import a lot of things. So basically, for the common man in Nigeria, I would say there's fear because people are afraid of what's going to happen next. There's fear. And because there is fear, people are falling into a lot of Ponzi schemes. And currently in Nigeria, there is opportunity also for the crypto markets. People are buying Bitcoin. People are willing to learn about Bitcoin. And funny enough, it seems, in a time of crisis, people are actually willing to listen because they want to change their financial status. So when somebody comes up and say, I have a means that you could, better your existence, people are really willing to listen. And to make it, it's just a terrible situation currently, but we do hope it gets better by the end of the year.
So just stepping away from crypto, just in terms of the macro environment in Nigeria, let's just say before even coronavirus hit, what was it like for Nigerians in terms of the currency, in terms of the economy? What is it like on a day-to-day for Nigerians?
Well, before the coronavirus hit, things were a bit better. Not like it couldn't have been better than they were, but they were better than they are now. So importation was easier, and since we rely heavily on importation, people could easily import things. Currently, the price of oil, that's petroleum oil, has also increased because we export our oil and then we have to import it back. And funny enough, it's I think before the pandemic, it was about 145 Naira pump price. Currently, it's about 147, 150, depending on the station you get from. So, but prior to the pandemic, people were very skeptical about cryptocurrency, but major investments platforms were agricultural, the agricultural industry, or real estate. So people were investing heavily into the real estate sector, the agricultural industry. Those industries were experiencing a boom. And then people invested their money heavily in banks for, they were buying bonds and shares from banks and, fixed deposits where you put your money for 3 months and then you get about 1.5% at the end of the month. So people were things were a bit better than they are currently.
How about oil revenues? Because my understanding is that oil's hit all-time low across the globe. Did that adversely impact Nigeria?
Yes, it impacted Nigeria a lot. In fact, I don't really know the words I want to use to describe how terribly it has impacted Nigeria. In the 1960s, 1970s, Nigeria was an agroeconomy. We relied heavily on agriculture, on the agricultural industry. We had groundnut pyramids, kola nut pyramids, cocoa pyramids. And then in the 1970s, 1980s, oil exploration started, and then things went downhill. Everybody jumped into the oil sector. The government abandoned other sectors. So what happened is that now we have oil, but
Yes.
there's nobody to buy the oil.
Right.
So it's a problem. So the government itself is confused because they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
That is why Naira started increasing, at a very, very rapid rate. So right now, the government doesn't even have dollars to sell to the people. If you want to buy dollars from the government, they don't have it. So it's a really, really weird situation. That's just what I can say.
Is the country seeing a disinvestment in oil? Are people starting to direct resources back into agric and tech sector and new sectors? Is that something that we're seeing?
Yes, there are so many businesses, who are beginning to invest into the agricultural sector, but they're using a model. They're using the crowdfunding model. So currently, one of the models that you would see, in the agricultural sector is the crowdfunding model. So people come up with the idea that, okay, I want to invest into a tomato plantation. I want to, have hundreds and thousands of acres of land where we plant tomatoes, and then when we harvest these tomatoes, investors who pooled their funds together will get their interest. The only problem I have with the agricultural sector currently is the fact that most of the revenues we are getting, most of the investment is rotating within the country because we don't do a lot of exports. The chances of exporting products out and having them get to their destination safely, that's the key word, safely. That these products, when you export 100 tons of tomatoes, you get the same 100 tons at the other side. So that's the only slight problem that we have currently, which is why I think a lot of blockchain companies are interested in using blockchain to facilitate agriculture in Nigeria.
What would you say is the Nigerian government's how have they been helping the situation or not helping the situation at the moment?
When it comes to helping the situation, okay, sometime in 2018, I think in April of 2018, the government, the CBN, that is the Central Bank of Nigeria, warned that people investing in cryptocurrencies are at their own risk. Right. So that means if you invest in cryptocurrency and then anything happens to you, you're at your own risk. But the regulatory framework when it comes to cryptocurrency is a bit lax. So the government don't care what you do with your cryptocurrency or forex trading. Those are two factors helping a lot of Nigerians currently. A lot of Nigerians are heavily into forex trading and cryptocurrency trading and all that kind of stuff. So it's helping a lot, but the government have not said anything currently about cryptocurrency. I think they are more worried about getting coronavirus out of the country, making sure that the Naira stays stable and all that. But there's really nothing. But then they are also not helping the situation in the fact that the spending limits on your credit card and purchasing Bitcoin is concerned. I think the government needs to make the purchase of Bitcoin a bit easier than what it is currently. But there is no restriction towards what you can do with Bitcoin or not. But then, since you have to buy Bitcoin with fiat, if you make strange transactions with your banking account, you might get a call from the bank. They might actually freeze your account for maybe a day, and then you have to go and rectify what you're doing with the account with the government, and then they would release the account. But when it comes to what the government is doing to alleviate the current problems that COVID-19 has caused in the country, the government are giving out loans, agricultural loans, creative loans also to people in the creative industry, the entertainment industry. So they are giving out loans to them. And I think there's also a relief from taxes for people in the betting industry because due to the pandemic, the betting industry kind of suffered a lot. Same with the sporting industry, since people could not go out to place bets on virtual game used to. So I think the government has agreed to kind of have a talk with the industry and create some relief for them. So, but basically, that's just what has been going on, where relief funds from the government is concerned, regulations are concerned. Yeah. Nigeria is a bit lax, so there's no top regulatory framework.
Cool. So what is the relationship between the population and the government? How has that been? So the last 20, 30 years, how does the average Nigerian view the government?
Well, I would say we really do not have a lot of respect for the government. And, well, the average Nigerian provides everything for himself, from electricity to, Nigerians are very tough people. We can survive on our own. So we don't really have a close relationship with the government. But I think there need to be a change where that is concerned, because the gap is very wide. The gap between the federal government and those at the grassroots level is very, very wide. Basically, we see our government once in 4 years, where they come for campaigns and then they want votes. Right. So the relationship is really, really not that pleasant. So considering the fact that we're supposed to be running a democratic government where people are supposed to hear their views, and then the government are supposed to heed to what the people want, we have a very tough relationship where that is between the government and the people. So there is no close relationship at all.
Staying with kind of, the psychology of the average Nigerian, certainly in the West, what we hear a lot in respect to Nigeria is a lot around corruption and the wealth gap between the haves and the have-not. Is that something that really still plagues the country?
When it comes to corruption, I like to say that corruption does not know gender. Yeah. It does not know race. It does not know tribe. It doesn't know, political or religious affiliation. Corruption is neutral. So I guess the entire world is corrupt. There's corruption everywhere you go. But when it comes to the Nigerian sector and corruption, it's just a thing of when there is a gap. For instance, if we have a country where basic amenities, people have access to basic amenities, education is free, or even if it isn't free, it is fair. There is easy access to health care. You don't see having to go to the hospital to have your eyes checked or remove a tooth as a big financial burden.
Sure.
If all these things are in place, corruption will be minimal, especially from those at the grassroots. Yeah. Corruption will be minimal, because why do I have to steal when I have access to water? I don't need anything. I'm okay. I'm fine. So corruption will be a bit on the less side. So, but when it comes to corruption, there are also good, really, really great people in Nigeria doing great things.
Sure.
But corruption is just, I'll just say it's a 50-50 thing.
Yeah.
So it's just 50% corrupt, 50% good. But then, like I like to say, the corruption is upward, downward flow. It's not a downward, upward thing. It starts from the top and then it gets to the bottom. So if governments do what they are supposed to do, those at the bottom will do what they are also supposed to do. So that's how I see it. But when it comes to the financial industry, especially the crypto sphere, there is more of FOMO and then fear, uncertainty, and doubt than there is corruption. So, when people are greedy, somebody will always exploit that. Yeah. When people are afraid, somebody will always exploit that. So there is more of FOMO. People are afraid, should I buy this coin? And especially currently because of decentralized finance, it's like we are seeing the ICO boom again. So people are like, oh my God, should I rush in? Where am I coming in? And, so it's just a crazy market out there. But where corruption, where the crypto sphere is, it's a bit on the low side. If you ask me, it's a bit on the low side. It's more of be smart, don't be greedy, get out with what you can. So that's basically the advice I give people. When you're getting into crypto, especially with the aim of making quick wealth, be smart, don't be greedy. But most times, I think there's more of greed than there is corruption. People are greedy. They want to make, you want to put in $1 and then get $1,000 out of $1 in, minutes or in seconds. And it's really risky. So I think there's more of greed than there is corruption.
Sure. No, we'll delve into that a lot more. I think at this point it's just like kind of understanding the macro trends which drive Nigeria where it is today. Just one more thing I want to touch upon is around Nigeria's currency, which you called out earlier, around the devaluation of the Naira. Now, my experience of going to Nigeria is one where obviously I jump off the plane, UK pounds, it's pound sterling in my pocket. Then obviously is the rigmarole of having to change my pounds into Naira and getting a rate which could fluctuate depending on where I get my Naira from. So, I mean, can you just give a bit of insight what it's like to have a currency which is largely devaluing but fluctuates on a day-to-day basis? How does that impact the daily lives of buying food and whatever? Because obviously this is something that cryptocurrency should really be coming in to help out. How does that impact how the daily lives of Nigerians?
Well, I don't just know how to describe it. It's a terrible thing because the things you buy less for more now. So you get less for more. And spending power has increased, but earning power still remains the same. So people spend more but earn less. So it's a terrible situation, and people are trying to earn in dollars because that is the way to better your finances when you earn in dollars. And since we don't have a lot of access to earning in dollars, it's better to earn in BTC or invest in BTC. So there are lots of investment platforms which, like I said earlier, FOMO is the cause of this. Since people are scared, people are afraid, nobody wants to be at the bottom, nobody wants to be, so people are just investing into anything that promises them returns. If I invest, I've seen so many. I've seen a lot. In fact, I've lost count at the point.
Yeah.
There was Ethereum Million Money. That was a Ponzi scheme. There was First Stage. It was also a Ponzi scheme. Recently, a friend called me that platform, Pennywise Investments, got locked down. They had issues with Binance, and when he told me the amount he had on the platform, I was like, why would you put your money, that much money, into an investment platform that you have no control over?
Yeah.
So, but it was in pain, so I just had to be understanding and try to console him.
Yeah.
But what happens is the fact that people want to earn more, but the Naira is not giving them the opportunity to do so.
Right.
So people are investing the little Naira they have into opportunities that will guarantee them, more returns in Naira, which also doesn't make sense because you're still earning in Naira and the Naira is not getting any better. So, and since we rely heavily on importation, it means that things cost more. When people import electronic gadgets and then you have to buy a phone, you're going to be spending more. So currently you have to make sure that your electrical devices are kept, in good shape, because if they get bad, you have to spend more to get them.
Right.
So things are just, spending power is just reduced. So, but people are looking for means, and Bitcoin is helping. I just don't know how to say this well enough. The crypto market is really, really helping. Decentralized finance is actually helping a lot of people. So cryptocurrency is bringing, a positive light into all this. And more and more people are willing to learn. There are more academies, more smaller academies, individuals who have made profit from cryptocurrency are willing to teach others. And then there are also platforms that promise you maybe 0.5 cents profit on daily investments. There are some that promise you as high as 2%, 10%, or in 2 weeks for your investment, something that you wouldn't get from the bank. Now, if you put your money in the bank for 3 months, you're going to get 1.5%. So that is quite small as compared to getting 1.5% every day or 1.5% in 2 weeks. But then there's a risk factor attached to all this. And the fact that most people investing do not even know what they are investing in. Mm-hmm. So that's just the risk factor. But when it comes to the Naira and then how people view it, a lot of people don't even know the impact it's having right now, because they are not aware of what's going on in the international monetary system. A lot of people are not even aware of Bitcoin. They just know that things are more expensive and it's the fault of coronavirus.
Sure. So would you say there is an understanding by most Nigerians that the Naira is devaluing and it won't hold its value? Yeah, is there a view that the Naira doesn't hold its value over time, or is that something they are just realizing, or how does that take place in terms of
we do know that Naira doesn't hold its value. It's something that I think
How's
most Nigerians know this fact, because like I said, we import a lot, so it's a fact that is common to most Nigerians.
Right.
So when it comes to the value of the Naira and how it's just this, the correlation is just when you have to spend more Naira to get something that you should be getting for less, people are aware that there is an inflation going on, that the Naira is getting devalued. They might not know the real terms we wish to define it, but we are very, very much aware that something is wrong with the Naira.
Okay, cool. Great.
But when it comes to saving, banks offer you the option of having dollar accounts, so you could have a dollar account with the bank. And there are some platforms, some fintech platforms that also offer, dollar accounts as well. I think the PiggyVest or Cowrywise is one side of the opportunity, but none as beautiful or as easy as having, your money in cryptocurrency. There's nothing as easy as that.
At the top of the school, I pointed out to some of the trends we are seeing in terms of cryptocurrency consumption in Nigeria, certainly in the blockchain space, where we're seeing a 40% increase in new users in the Bitcoin ecosystem, as well as transactions. And Nigeria has established itself as one of the number one Bitcoin consumer in Africa and amongst the top 10 in the world. So to you, in your own words, what is Bitcoin? What is Bitcoin to you, Rebecca?
Well, to me, Bitcoin is, I know that's not the term that people would like to define as, but Bitcoin is alternative currency. And then Bitcoin is money for the people, money by the people, for the people. The term we use in describing democracy, that is Bitcoin. For the people and by the people. And Bitcoin is a way to have your funds out of the hands of the government. Right. So we have limits, spending limits. You can't go above, with your with your bank, depending on the kind of accounts that you run. But Bitcoin gives you the opportunity to have your money away from the. In fact, currently, if you owe a bank, let's say there are a lot of banks in Nigeria. So if you owe bank a certain amount of money, and you do not want to pay bank A that money, the government has the right to go to bank B, where you have your funds, and get your funds from that bank to pay bank A. Wow. That means you don't have control over your money. No. So now that the government has given a spending limit of $500 on your credit cards, it means you don't have control over your money. You can't even buy what you want. If you want to purchase something online and it's above $500, you have to wait the next month. Maybe you pay half of the money and then you pay the other half the next month before you can get what you want.
So I just need to reiterate that because I didn't catch that before. So the government has a spend limit on how much a person can spend on a daily basis.
On credit cards,
on credit
$500. On your MasterCard, you have a spend limit of $500.
How about your debit card? Because credit, I can understand that. How about your based on your bank account? If I wanted to spend money in my bank account internationally, can I spend as much as I want from my debit card, or do you guys have debit card?
I don't know the spending limits on debit card, but most banks give credit cards, Master or Visa cards, or VEV. Very rarely do the common man gets debit card. Nobody goes to the bank and says, I want the debit card. Most people just want a credit card that you can use. So a larger population of people have credit cards.
Mm-hmm. How did you first come across Bitcoin and crypto? Can you just elaborate on that?
Okay, in 2017, I was freelancing and I had issues receiving payments from my international clients because most of them wanted to pay by PayPal, and PayPal was not available in Nigeria.
Okay.
So that means I couldn't receive payments for jobs that I do because I do not have a PayPal account. And then most clients were very skeptical about using Western Union because of bad rep. So a friend told me that she found a way we could. She was also a freelancer, and then she said she found a way we could earn without having to worry about how we can get the money. So I was like, really? All right, so what's the way? And then she introduced me to Bitcoin. So she said I should go and read about it. She gave me some links, and then I started reading. And then one of the best things about being a writer is the fact that the best way to learn is by writing. So the more I wrote about Bitcoin, the more I knew about it. And so it was easier to get. I think my first wallet was Waves wallet. So I got a Waves wallet, and then I got my Bitcoin in the wallet. And I couldn't spend the Bitcoin because I didn't know the wallet was so complicated. It was not something I was used to. I couldn't withdraw my Bitcoin. I didn't know what to do with it. So I just had Bitcoin in the wallet and I just left it there until I discovered that to spend your Bitcoin on Waves wallet, you need to have Waves coin. So I was like, oh, but the more I wrote, and then at a point, my mom got interested in what I was doing. She wanted to know what I was involved with, and I couldn't explain it to her because African parents want you to get a job, go to work. They don't want you sitting at home staring at your computer or your phone all day. They feel you are playing. Are you playing games? Why are you laughing? Are you watching videos when you should be working? So I decided to start talking about Bitcoin in Pidgin English so she could understand, so she could be able to relate with what I was doing. So I did that for a while, and then I moved on to other things. But getting into crypto was looking for a way to overcome cross-border payment issues.
Okay, so that's the key thing, cross-border payments.
Which we are still having till date. We still have issues with cross-border payments.
So you came in at 2017. So did you experience the bull run in 2017, or did you come in just after that, or right at the peak?
I came in at 2017. It was December 2017. I
So
didn't
you're
take
right.
it serious, so
Yeah.
because I was like, internet money. What money is on the internet? There's no
Sure.
such thing as internet. So I didn't take it serious. So it wasn't until January, you know, she gave me an assignment on it, and then she told me to write something about Bitcoin and stuff. So when I started reading about it, I was like, oh my God, are you for real? And then I discovered that I missed the bull run. It was so annoying.
Yeah.
And I started finding out more. Um, Bitcoin got into Nigeria, a very weird way. It got into
Yeah.
Nigeria through a Ponzi
Explain.
scheme,
Ponzi
MMM.
scheme.
So it was a Russian guy. So people could buy and could invest in MMM using Bitcoin. And I wasn't aware. And at a point, I think I was also involved in that Ponzi scheme, but I wasn't aware.
Yeah.
So as in, it was later when I found out, the more reading I did, I watched a lot of videos, read about it a lot, and I was like, it's so funny how information will be right under your nose and you wouldn't even be aware of it.
Sure.
So that was how I got into Bitcoin.
So just in terms of Bitcoin in Nigeria, who is using Bitcoin? Can you give a sort of an overview of the demographics of who is a normal Bitcoin user in Nigeria at the moment?
When you say using Bitcoin, we have to be very particular.
Or purchasing it or holding Bitcoin, yeah. Who's facing with Bitcoin?
Bitcoin adoption is a bit, very few. I don't think people pay their staffs in Bitcoin in Nigeria, unless maybe you work with an international firm and then you get your payments in Bitcoin.
Right.
But people invest in Bitcoin, people trade with Bitcoin. So mostly what happens with Bitcoin is a lot of trading.
Okay.
Although I am looking for a way whereby people can get payments in Bitcoin. I have talked to several of my friends. My younger brother is a fashion designer. I've told him, why don't you, ask your clients to pay you in Bitcoin?
Yeah.
But most Nigerians do not like spending their Bitcoin. They like to hold it. People do not like spending their Bitcoin. So that's another problem. We want mass adoption for Bitcoin. We want people to be able to spend and receive Bitcoin with ease. I want to be able to go to a restaurant and then spend my Bitcoin. But then people do receive Bitcoin. I think there's a cryptocurrency currently in Nigeria, Tatcoin. There's a particular vendor that asks people to pay with Tatcoin to purchase his merchandise. And I think that's fascinating. I think people should be able to spend cryptocurrency with ease without having to be afraid of, if I spend this cryptocurrency, when am I going to get, when am I going to get it back?
Right.
So, but when it comes to people investing, the demographic investing in Bitcoin, also people from 17 to 40.
Right.
Although the older demographic, they are becoming interested in it. The older demographic, they are beginning to wake up. They are asking questions. The only problem we are going to be having with the older demographic is having to explain how to use some of these platforms for them, because most crypto exchanges are kind of complex. Even for the younger generation, especially if you are not tech savvy, it takes you a while to, get the part of how a platform works. So imagine having to take that complexity and then introducing it to somebody who doesn't even, most older demographic, 50 and above, the only thing they use their phone for, make calls, go on WhatsApp, take pictures, which was I was very, very fascinated about WhatsApp releasing their payment system. There was a time WhatsApp was interested in releasing its payment system, although it didn't work out. Because I was like,
they're still looking to do that. They're still looking to do that, by the way. That's something
I really hope it goes through. The older demographic that they are always on their cast about eat garlic for coronavirus, all this kind of stuff, they'll be able to use it to receive payments from their children with ease.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really fascinated. I hope it goes through. So, we need more simplified payment system, exchanges, to make it easier for people to understand how, cryptocurrency works. Because I think in 2017, one of the terms that was very, very common when we talk about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is banking the unbanked.
Yeah.
Now, people find it so difficult to go to the bank because of the complexity. For years, my mom did not have a bank account. Why? Because she said the process was too long. She didn't want to go to the bank and then have to go through a lot of processes, and then they will ask her for thumbprints. And these people are superstitious, even about the littlest of things. She's like, why are they asking for my thumbprint? What do they want to do with my thumbprint? And now you want them to use a payment system that is so complicated. It's going to take them a while to get used to it. So if payment systems are simplified, I think it would be a very, very, very great thing. But for the demographic, we have people from 17. More teenagers are interested in Bitcoin because these are the tech generation. They're interested in Bitcoin. More teens, people in their 20s, 30s, and early 40s, down to 50s. People are really, really getting interested in Bitcoin, but it's basically the younger demographic.
So far, in terms of the biggest cases in Nigeria for Bitcoin, one is an investment asset and two is payment rail. So would you say that the general attitude towards cryptocurrency in Nigeria is a positive one? Is it one that's improving? Or what direction would you say it's going in?
It's a positive one, a very, very positive one. Like I explained to somebody recently, I told her that you see, people in Nigeria want to change their financial status.
Right.
And when it comes to changing your people are willing to listen. So it's just a simple question of, if I do this, will it help my financial status? All you have to say is yes, and then they're willing to listen to you. Although people are skeptical because lots of people have lost money in Ponzi schemes, in fraudulent websites and all. But then I'm so glad that there are so many platforms going about educating people, about cryptocurrency. We have Black Ladies Blockchain Association in Nigeria, BAL. We have Crypto Fortune Group. We have Arbit Network. We have so many platforms. We have Daba School. They are educating people about cryptocurrency.
What other challenges and difficulties are there around purchasing Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? And I'm speaking more towards the devaluation of the Naira. What challenges does that pose?
Like I explained when I was talking about spending power in buying things due to the devaluation of the Naira, it's also the same thing where cryptocurrency is concerned, because now you have to spend more Naira to get less Bitcoin. So before now, you could get Bitcoin for 350, 360, 360 Naira per dollar. Now you are going to be getting it for 380, 390, 500, 375, depending on who you are buying from. So it means you are spending more Naira to get less Bitcoin. So that's a problem. I think if we say Bitcoin will take over fiat, I think we have to look for a way to make it easier for people to get Bitcoin easily. It doesn't make any sense if I'm going to be spending a lot of fiat to get Bitcoin. And when I want to sell it back, I have to sell it lesser. So it's either I think it's time for people to begin to, use Bitcoin in a way that people could use Bitcoin easily. I accept Bitcoin as payment for my activities. You pay me in Bitcoin when I do something for you, instead of paying me in fiat, and then I have to use my fiat to get Bitcoin. And then when I need fiat, I have to sell my Bitcoin to get fiat. So this circle is it's a very, very complicated and unnecessary circle. And then there's also the problem of, where to buy Bitcoin.
Right.
And then where to store your Bitcoin. So, and, the problem with hack, will this platform get hacked? What platform is safe enough for me to use? A lot of Nigerians use, blockchain wallets.
Yeah.
Trust wallets,
Trust
very
wallet.
popular in Nigeria. Trust wallet, blockchain wallet,
Like that, yeah.
Coinbase. Those are popular exchanges and wallets in Nigeria.
Sure.
And then we have Nigerian-based wallets as well. We have BitFXT. They are doing quite well. We have Niger Crypto. That's an exchange, though. They are doing quite well. But, we need a less complicated system where people could easily buy crypto. A system that makes it easy to buy crypto in Naira without having to spend more Naira in getting crypto, because we are trying to move away from that. Now, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why do I even need to get into crypto if I have to spend this much Naira getting into crypto? So people don't see cryptocurrency as a means of exchange. They see it more as a store of value, as an investment option. It's it's more like getting gold. I'm buying gold not because I want to make a trinket out of the gold for daily use. I'm buying it because it's a store of value. I can, hold it for years, and then it still has value. Nobody's saying, okay, I'm going to give you 2 ounces of gold to get, let's say, a bag of oats in return. Nobody's saying that. So people are seeing Bitcoin more as an investment and less as an exchange of value, where I give you my Bitcoin and then I get goods in return. And I think that's a problem. Personally, for me, I feel it's a problem. I think Bitcoin needs to be widely adopted. People need to be able to use Bitcoin, not just invest in it.
Right. Okay. So it sounds like most Nigerians are seeing it as a store of value as opposed to peer-to-peer cash at this point in time, rightly or wrong. And that's the thing with things like inventions. An inventor may have a purpose for an invention, but the people who adopt it will use that invention how they see fit. With Bitcoin, obviously, in Nigeria, it's starting to become more of a seen as a store of value rather than peer-to-peer cash. But that's the case across the globe. People are holding on to it because they believe it's going to have value in the future. So I just want to quickly dive a little bit more into the Bitcoin industry in Nigeria, and again personalize it by asking you, what's it like being a woman in the crypto space in Nigeria? How is that? How's your experience?
I think I'm just going to use an illustration of something that happened to me in 2018. So I moved from Lagos down to Ibadan, and I wore a T-shirt that had cryptocurrency written on it. And somebody asked me, "You're into crypto, a woman?" And I was like, yes, everybody wants money. Money is not, money does not recognize gender. So I want money. I love crypto. So why does it have anything to do with my gender? So, and then when we go for crypto events, earlier when crypto just started booming in Nigeria, we go for crypto events, most of the speakers are men. And one of the reasons why it's this way is because, the tech industry is male dominated. Most of the people who started investing in Bitcoin, who brought Bitcoin awareness to the forefront, were developers. People who started, experimenting with Ethereum, building dApps on Ethereum and all that, they were developers. So when you go for a crypto event, the speakers are mostly male. They are talking about, and then, somehow, I don't know who told people that women can't get into tech. Although I'm so glad that the space is changing, more getting into, there are more female developers, there are more female in crypto. And Doris, the founder of African Ladies, Blockchain African Ladies, she's doing tremendously well. And more women are coming into crypto. So I am so glad about that.
Fantastic. All right, so we're saying it's a space where, I mean, I guess the main thing is that, you know, this space is meant to be new. And so what we can't be doing is carrying on some of our previous discrimination from, you know, I guess the fiat system and the existing monetary system into this one. So we have to remove discrimination whatever chance we get. Slightly moving away from that, I just want to quickly ask you more about the Ponzi schemes in Nigeria. Why are these so popular? Why do these get so much traction? And what is the psychology behind that?
The first thing I'll say is lack of financial literacy. Now,
Right.
A lot of people do not understand how money works. You know, people, like I like to tell people, is you build wealth not for now. You build wealth for the future, for generations to come. But because, like I mentioned earlier, when there is a gap, that gap needs to be filled. People do not have access to a lot of things. And then when you see an opportunity that is going to give you access to the things that you feel you lack, you're going to jump onto it.
Sure.
So what Ponzi scheme offers people is an opportunity to make money as fast as you can without through a lot of stress. And I think it's part of the psychology of the present day, where they tell you have to be smart. You work smart, you don't work hard. And then working smart sometimes means that you have to rob Peter to pay Paul. And a lot of people do not know that that's how it works. So what happens is that a lot of Ponzi schemes are using smart contracts. There is an Ethereum. I really don't know how that works. I don't know how they do it. They build a platform where they tell you, you pull in, if you invest 0.005 Ethereum, you can get 32 Ethereum back. Then when you pull in your yes. So somebody told me recently that he had a friend who invested in it, and then she has 32 Ethereum currently. And I was like, wow, that's nice. And he was telling me that, why can't I invest in it? And I told him, I can't do that, because the way pyramid schemes work is that those at the top earn more than those at the bottom of the scheme. Now, he said, but she has made it. She has profit. She has made profit. And I told him that this is the way these things work. Get in fast, you will definitely make profits. Those who get in late, those are like the worms for the beds. Yeah, cool. So you are going to get eaten. So as in, the Ponzi scheme situation is terrible. They started with Ethereum, and now they have moved into Tron. In fact, it was so funny that at the start, when they started with Ethereum was about $200 and something. Currently, Ethereum, I think the last time I checked, Ethereum was about $400.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. That means that, the amount of people coming in through Ponzi schemes caused Ethereum to have a rise. So they have moved from Ethereum now. They have now moved to Tron. So Tron is now the next,
no wonder I've seen a movement in Tron. Okay, that's very
interesting. Yeah. So a lot of people are buying Tron now. A lot of people are buying Tron. They're like, I have Tron. I have a lot of friends calling me to ask me, should I buy Rebecca? And I'm like, I'm not a financial advisor. Yeah. I can't advise you. Yeah. So I'll only tell you that Ponzi schemes are risky. If you want to buy Tron because you believe in the project, because you believe that Tron is a great cryptocurrency to hold, fantastic. But if you are buying Tron because you think that you can invest 0.005% of Tron and then get 42 Trons back, I can't advise you to do that. But these things work in a funny way, in that once you see somebody that has profited from it, your psychology is, if this person can do it, I can also, and people rush into it. So it's a really, really messy situation currently.
Okay, so moving towards cryptocurrency organizations outside of Nigeria, what support does Nigeria or the cryptocurrency space in Nigeria need from the wider crypto community, do you feel?
Um, do we really need support? I really don't think we need external support that much. I think Nigerian crypto projects are doing well.
Right.
It's amazing how much we believe in our own projects.
Yeah.
And I'm actually very, very proud of, a lot of Nigerian projects that are scaling through currently. I'm really proud of them. But we do need support when it comes to funding, funding. So to fast track the growth of most platforms that are willing to create solutions that will benefit, people, we need funding. We also need if these platforms are willing to create an integration system where Nigerian platform could use their APIs, or businesses could use their APIs to make payments easier for themselves. I think it will also be a great support, like what Binance did. Binance listed Nigerian Naira in their
Did they?
platform.
Wow,
Yeah.
I heard they did it with the Rand, South African Rand. They've done it with Naira as well. Oh, wow.
Yes. And so it made purchase of Bitcoin easy. So that's really, really great, because lots of people now are now investing in BTC, trading BTC and Naira, which is also a way people are using to make profit. So I think most support needed mostly is, funding, and make your platform easy to integrate with. I think personally, that's the two factors that I can see as much more needed.
So what would you see as, from an external crypto company coming into Nigeria? What are the opportunities in Nigeria for any company coming in?
We have a growing crypto community, a fast growing crypto community. So there is opportunities for exchanges. There's opportunities for platforms who are interested in arbitraging, margin trading. There's a wide range of opportunities when it comes to the crypto sphere. Businesses who want people to, trade Bitcoin and then get paid in Bitcoin. There's platforms also who want, employers to pay their workers, international workers with Bitcoin. There is a massive opportunity, because most people don't have PayPal accounts. To open a PayPal account in Nigeria and get paid is still a bit technical. So, but getting paid with crypto, it's fast, it's easy, it gets into your account, within minutes. You don't have to, and then it's in your control. You don't have to leave it in the control of the platform who will lock you out of your account, at a whim. If they feel you are in violation of their rule, you are out of the account. But if you own your private key, it's your Bitcoin. So I think, there's an opportunity there also.
Just looking forwards in terms of the Bitcoin industry and Nigeria, do you still think that Bitcoin is a real opportunity for financial freedom? Is that something that you believe?
Yes, I do. I do. Personally, Bitcoin really, really changed my life. So I think that Bitcoin, there's a lot of opportunities for Nigerians to change their financial situations with Bitcoin. I do have a lot of hope for Bitcoin, although I think I am more of a view that Bitcoin should be massively adopted instead of people holding Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin should be regulated like fiat. People should be able. I think currently Bitcoin is holding onto its rep of being a digital gold than of being an alternative currency. So I look forward to a future where Bitcoin will be accepted everywhere, or other cryptocurrencies for that matter. cryptocurrencies could be easily transferred from merchant to consumer, from farmer to, from doctor to patient, farmer to consumer, teacher to parents to teacher and all that. But for young people, Bitcoin definitely has an opportunity for them. The cryptocurrency, in fact, the blockchain itself has a wide range of opportunity, wide range for women. Like I explained some time ago, women who are in abusive relationships, cryptocurrency holds massive opportunities for them. All you have to do is convert your fiat to Bitcoin. Now, the abusive spouse doesn't know that you hold Bitcoin. So when they don't have access to your Bitcoin, they cannot access your Bitcoin. So when the woman wants to leave that relationship, she doesn't have to be afraid that, she doesn't know what to do. Most women, they can't run, they can't help themselves. But if you have a phone, you can trade Bitcoin online and make profits and save yourself from an abusive relationship. So I'm from the standpoint that Bitcoin will definitely help women in abusive relationships. Okay. So if
very interesting.
Help women in abusive relationships, it can help everybody.
And so what are your predictions for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency usage in Nigeria for the next, 5 to 10 years? Where do you see this going?
Well, I don't want to go 10 years ahead, but for the next 5 years, I still see Bitcoin being used as a store of value.
Yeah.
I still see, because I think Nigeria is a bit stative when it comes to change. It took a long time for people to agree to use credit cards. Yeah. How much more currencies that they can't see nor touch. So I think for the next 5 years, I still see crypto trading being one of the top use of cryptocurrency, of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in Nigeria. I still see crypto trading, crypto investment, staking, margin trading, all forms of trading. I still see them as the top ways of, crypto usage in Nigeria. I still see a lot of people holding for their dear life. I still see a lot of people trading, pump and dump calls and, all that, and swapping. I think that's the new one now. People are swapping coins and all that. So I still see that as the main usage of cryptocurrency. I think it's going to take a while for, schools to agree to get paid in Bitcoin. In fact, that will take maybe the next 2-3 years for a university in Nigeria to agree to get paid in Bitcoin for students' tuition fees. But it's still positive. The truth is, never say never, because nobody expected 2020 to be this way. So
no way, no one.
We don't know what the future would hold.
100%. And so I'm going to bring it back to the initial question. Does Bitcoin fix Nigeria?
Bitcoin.
I'll let you give me your answer. Does Bitcoin fix Nigeria?
Bitcoin cannot fix Nigeria. Nigerians can fix Nigeria. But Bitcoin can help Nigerians in Nigeria fix their financial situations. So if Nigerians have gotten to a place where their finances are well off, I think a lot of things can change in Nigeria. A lot of things can change in Nigeria. So Bitcoin can fix the individuals in the country, but the individuals in the country have to fix the country themselves. So Bitcoin is doing a lot for them. I really don't know how to. Maybe I have to do a collation of people who Bitcoin has actually changed their lives. Yeah. I know quite a few, but I can't share their stories without their permission. Sure. Bitcoin is really helping a lot of people. Cryptocurrency, the blockchain sphere has done a lot for people. People are trading and, making profits, changing their financial situation. And it's a really, really positive and great thing to see with, cryptocurrency, where a few years back, nobody knew what Bitcoin was. But today, when you say Bitcoin, people are like, oh, do you have Bitcoin? Yes, people know about Bitcoin, and it's really, really interesting and fascinating to see.
It's brilliant. So, Rebecca, before we go, can you give people kind of information of where they can find you, Twitter, your social media? Where can people hear more from you?
I'm on Twitter at Rebecca Asseh. I'm on LinkedIn at Rebecca Asseh. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. So you can get me there. You can also get me on Fint. That is Future Proof Intelligence on LinkedIn, and BWBC, Black Women Blockchain Council. I'm also there. So I'm just on social media. Anybody that needs to contact me can do so.
So yeah, definitely. I've really enjoyed this conversation. It's been a really big eye-opener for me. As far as I'm concerned, this is part one. I would like us to do a part two soon. Let's get this one out first. But we're putting a diary a part two. But there's definitely a lot more we can talk about in terms of the DeFi space and just what's happened on in terms of blockchain solutions for old African problems like land registry and voting, and seeing what impact that has. So I've really enjoyed this conversation, and I look forward to the next one. Thanks for your time, Rebecca.
Thank you.
So what do you think? I really enjoyed that conversation, and that's because Rebecca was really insightful. She had a great understanding of Nigeria, the cryptocurrency space. She understood it from such a granular level, so I really felt like I was in the shoes of someone out there, and I feel I understand the psyche of the normal sort of man-woman in the street. Did we answer the question? I guess we did. In short term, no, Bitcoin cannot fix Nigeria. I think that was something we quickly both agreed on. And also, it does seem that only a small demographic of people have access to Bitcoin or own Bitcoin. And another thing pointed out by Rebecca is that there is simply not enough commerce being done with Bitcoin. There's not enough trade, there's not enough vendors, there's not enough institutions, there's not enough individuals accepting Bitcoin. So at this point in time, for many Nigerians, Bitcoin is not meeting its promise of being peer-to-peer electronic cash and becoming an alternative payment rail. Over the long term, I do feel there is a major opportunity for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in Nigeria. Specifically for Bitcoin, there would need to be a lot more education done so people see it as more than just a get-rich-quick scheme, more than just an investment asset, and more than something just to hold. A lot more focused on sort of the real benefits of Bitcoin, such as decentralization, disintermediation, and censorship resistance, and all the other benefits of Bitcoin. I really do think it has a strong opportunity in the country. And I think that for two reasons. Firstly is the demographics. Nigeria is the most populated country on the African continent. Around 70% of the population is under the age of 30. So I can see a case for a very young, entrepreneurial, hardworking, resilient and resourceful generation basically not settling for what they've got now, and they're going to push for more, and they're going to be resourceful, and they're going to be creative and find ways to achieve it. Secondly, the government's lax approach to regulation within the cryptocurrency space could actually prove to be a strength. It may give a lot of these cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin the space they need to basically grow, to thrive, and for the network effect to kick in. So moving forward, I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on this trend and see how it plays out over the long term. For me, my personal view is if cryptocurrency, if Bitcoin doesn't work on the African continent, then quite frankly, it's not fit for purpose. So Nigeria for me is a great experiment for Bitcoin to be tested. So that's it. Guys, before I go, please remember to share, to like, to comment. In the show notes, I've attached lots of links on Rebecca. If you want to read some of her articles, please check out the show notes. And yeah, definitely comment if there's anything that you guys want us to speak about in our next conversation, or any questions I should have asked, any advice, any input, please comment. I'm Bitcoin by Mouse. This is Genesis Block Education. Thank you for listening.